Welcome to the Compendium Podcast hosted by Leadership Books. In just a moment, our host, Joseph Baker, will be joining us, along with a very special guest. Before we get started, I would like to introduce you to Joseph. He's a podcaster, event producer, writer, speaker, and audience builder. His passion is to help authors, speakers, and entrepreneurs build their audiences to monetize their leadership. Won't you please welcome our host, Joseph Baker.
Well, welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Compendium Podcast. We are here filming live at NSA 2022, the Influence Summit in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm here with one of our authors at Leadership Books. This is Kevin Johnson. Kevin is the author of Leadership with a Servant's Heart, Leading Through Personal Relationships. Kevin's been here doing book signings. We're doing some more today. It's been a fantastic event. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Kevin, you are doing quite a bit these days. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was asking you about what you do, and it seemed like there were at least 7 different things that you're involved in, much of it revolving around leadership and helping people. But if you had to summarize what it is that you focus on these days, how would you summarize that?
Well, the best way to summarize it really would be spending 95% of my waking hours pouring into the lives of the current and next generation of leaders. And what I mean by that, it would be teaching, training, coaching, and mentoring them so that they can be much, much better at what they're currently doing or have an aspiration to be something that they may not know about. And I'm a firm believer that in doing so, we are helping to make not only our nation, but the world to be a much better place.
That's awesome. And from what I understand, you do that in the marketplace, you do that in the church, you do that probably in all of your relationships with people that you know. What does it mean to lead with a servant's heart?
Well, the bottom line and foundational message that we're sending through the book, and that's why we really emphasize the image of the heart on the cover, is because we recognize and acknowledge that the overwhelming majority of people that are in positions of leadership with the authority and the responsibilities that come with it, the majority are indeed subject matter experts. They really know their work role. They come in alignment with their job description. They bring the acumen and the intel. They have demonstrated that they know how to do that work. The heart, though, is where the issues of life reside. So being compassionate, being empathetic, showing value and care, respect, and honor for those that we are entrusted to lead. We want it to be in alignment with the subject matter expertise. So what's in the mind, we also want it to be in the heart. It is not a demonstration of weakness. It's actually a demonstration of power, because when people show up in a safe place and a safe space, working for a leader that values them, they're ready to be innovative and creative and be their best. It's when we don't do that, people sort of walk on eggshells and tiptoe through the tulips, and they're not able to bring their best because there's a fear of retribution and retaliation. It's been documented, it's verifiable, and it's validatable, and we want to help leaders to sort of change that paradigm.
That is really good. Give us an example. You don't have to use any real names or anything like that, but give us an example of someone that you've helped with your consulting in this area of leadership. Either a person or an organization. Give us an example.
Yeah, so I have 34 years of total experience with the federal government as a frontline, mid-level, and senior level leader. And as a senior level leader, I was very deliberate and intentional in terms of reaching out to people to say, I am available to serve as a mentor. And in other instances, people would come to me, and more times than not, I would say yes, men and women. And I would spend a full hour with them once a month, one-on-one in a conference room, just having a really, really frank conversation about what's needed, how can I assist, how can I support, how can I be your cheerleader, and then I would share principles and strategies that I know work based upon their unique circumstance. I've been retired now for almost 5 years, and people still reach out to me to say, Kevin, this happened. Kevin, you were right. Kevin, I tried this. Kevin, I got promoted. And that's really the evidence.
Yes.
And the verification that it works, right? These are different men and women that I used to work with or that worked for me, that I would just pour into their lives because I really enjoyed doing it, but I also know it's something that's needed. And years later, they're still saying, thank you. And in exchange, I tell them, now go out and do the same for somebody else.
Yes. As an author, what types of doors has this book opened for you professionally?
Well, I wouldn't have met Joseph Baker if it wasn't for the book, right?
That's true.
I wouldn't be connected with Leadership Books because I don't think I necessarily would have found you all, and then vice versa.
Sure.
It's opened up a lot of doors. I wouldn't be here at the National Speakers Association. I get invitations from churches. People find out that because of the writing, that we need a person to come speak to us at a summit, a conference, or a convention. I make myself available for that. Different churches and pastors, they'll have me come in for a full day of training with their leaders to talk about biblical principles and strategies and other real life situations that are going on in our nation or in our county or in our city that are relevant, that can really help them to be better. So, I mean, that's one of those types of questions that I could spend a long time answering, but those are just some examples of doors that open. And with great anticipation, even as we speak, I'm looking forward to more and more doors being open and being able to walk through, not for my sake, but for the people that I get a chance to serve.
Yes. What does success look like for you personally?
Well, I tell you, one of the most subjective words in the dictionary, in my humble opinion, is the word success because it means different things to different people. Success to Kevin Johnson means just being a phenomenal dad and a loyal and faithful husband because it's rooted in the family, and I believe that the family is the foundation of our nation. If we had more families that sort of understood God's perspective as it relates to the family unit, we would be a much better country. And so I have 3 sons, and I've instilled that in them since they were all ankle high to be phenomenal dads and to be great husbands and be very, 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 very selective, but also very intentional on who you marry and make sure you take care of those little ones because that's our responsibility.
Yes, that's great. What do you see as one of the biggest needs? Everywhere you go, the places you travel, the different people you meet, what's the leadership need that you're seeing right now?
You and I need to heighten the level of awareness of how important it is to be self-aware, to be self-led, to be self-managed, and to be comfortable in our skin so that we are in a position to lead others because it's a high degree of trust that goes with that responsibility. Good leaders are not equipped to lead others until they are first equipped to lead themselves. Self-discipline goes along with that. Having an understanding of taking a step back to self-reflect, to self-assess, to be balanced in our lives. Now we're in a position where we can help to lead others.
That is good. So for our viewers and our listeners today, if they would like to find more about your book and about your work, where would they go to do that?
Well, I'll make it very easy. The name is Kevin Wayne Johnson, so they can find me at kevinwaynejohnson.com. That's always the easy way to do it. And the name of the company is the Johnson Leadership Group. And so we want to make it easy, so thejohnsonleadershipgroup.com.
Perfect. You can also find his books here at leadershipbooks.com. Check us out there. Again, we're here capturing this episode live at NSA 2022, Nashville, Tennessee. Kevin, thank you so much. It's been great to meet you this weekend, to work with you, to see your book signings, to see you interact with people, to inspire people to go to that next level in their leadership. Thank you for what you do. And be sure to check out his book, check out his websites, and we'll catch you all in the next episode.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us for today's broadcast. I do hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And be sure to visit us online at leadershipbooks.store. There you'll find the works of some of the finest thought leaders today. And be sure to tune in here each week to gain even deeper insights from one of those leaders on the Compendium Podcast.